Well, howdy, roofers, and welcome to Roofer Growth Hacks, the podcast that's dedicated to highlighting those in the roofing industry, learning how they overcame growth challenges with creative growth hacks, and connecting them with others in the roofing industry. I'm your host, Chris Hunter, founder and chief growth officer of roofingsites.com. I'm also the author of The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers. Well, howdy, roofers, and welcome to Roofer Growth Hacks, the podcast that's dedicated to highlighting those in the roofing industry, learning how they overcame growth challenges with creative growth hacks, and connecting them with others in the roofing industry. I'm your host, Chris Hunter, founder and chief growth officer of Roofer Marketing Heroes. I'm also the author of The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers. Well, today's episode, we are going to talk about the November state of marketing for roofers. All right. There's a lot of things that are always happening inside of the roofing industry. So therefore, once a month, I do one of these right here where I kind of go over all the latest changes in the marketing industry as well as is in the roofing industry. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. First thing, let's talk about local service ads, right? Right now, local service ads, in my opinion, are a non-negotiable, meaning that you must have LSAs set up. And here's why. Local service ads are now appearing in Google Maps, not just in the search, right? If you knew anything about LSAs or Google Guaranteed or whatever that Google's going to call these things, right? Is that a lot of times they would put those ads at the very, very top of the search, right? So if someone searches for roofer near me or a roofing company near me or a roofing company in College Station, Texas, right? Then typically what's been happening in the past, okay, is that two local service ads will show up at the very, very top. They have pushed out all of the pay-per-click ads altogether almost for the main searches, okay? So what's happened, and this was reported by Bright Local, which is another, Google local search type company that's really good, and they do all citations. They do, anyways. It's a really big company that a lot of marketers use. Okay, let's put it that way. All right, so they've reported not too long ago, maybe a week or two ago, that the local service ads are now appearing in Google Maps, not just in the search. So what this means for us in the industry is that we really have to get those things going and humming, right? Making sure that they are optimized and that you are doing all of the things that we know go into the algorithm, such as answering your phones because Google's listening. Okay. Making sure that you're working those leads in the back end of their, the local service ad system, right? Very, very important, as well as getting reviews after you're done with the job, because all of that goes into the LSA algorithm there, right? So as long as we're doing that, we should be okay. And just make sure that we have plenty of budget. And one thing that I've noticed in the past month is that, in the past, we've given the local service ads, a specific budget. Let's say that if your budget was $1,000, typically we would go in and set the budget as $4,000. All right. And that's just because we've noticed over time, way back in the past, is that Google would never spend your budget. Well, guess what's happening also is that Google's spending the budget. Okay. So, and it makes sense. They want your money, okay, but they're also charging per lead in the local service ads platform. So just pay attention to that. Pay attention to where it's showing up in your market, because it is different in every single market. It's different in every single search. They're constantly playing around with the search engine result pages, so like when someone types in something at one address and someone else goes to another and types that same exact search in, let's say roofing contractor in College Station, Texas, it's going to show different in one place versus another place. And that's just because Google is testing, always testing, and they want to know what's going to get them more money, right? And it's going to get the best result for the people that are searching. And really, that's what it comes down to for Google. And it always really has. And that's what has made them the superior search engine for the past 20 plus years that I've been working in the industry and working on Google specifically. Okay. All right. Next in the news concerning local service ads is that the Google Guaranteed badge is now retired. Okay. This isn't a big deal. It's being replaced by Google Verified. check mark, a little check mark next to your name instead of it saying Google guaranteed. They're just saying now, instead of, hey, we're going to back these companies. If they mess up, we're going to pay, whatever amount that was. I think it was $500, up to $500, right? In the roofing industry, that's not a whole lot, right? But it gave everyone the warm and fuzzies that, this was a good platform, right? And that's all it really comes down to. Now they're saying this is a verified business, okay? Because it is. Truthfully, you, in order to go through their process, you've got to upload your business documents, your insurance, your driver's license. You've got to go through a background check. You've got to do all of these things and jump through their hoops, but it's worth it, okay? And so I say with this platform, keep pushing towards it, keep making sure that you have plenty of budget, and just keep reinvesting anything that you're making from that platform back into those ads. Okay. So I say 10% if you want to stay very aggressive in your market, which, if you're in growth mode, you want to be at 10%. If you're in profit mode, meaning that you don't want to, spend as much money, you're trying to make more profit. Maybe you're looking to retire or to sell your company. You might be more in profit mode, right? Then you can back off to about 5%, okay, of what you're reinvesting in your marketing dollars back into your company. Well, that also applies to the local service ads platform. And what we see with a lot of our clients is that once they start seeing these leads, they realize how valuable that those are coming from that platform. Okay. And they're like, let's keep it going, right? I know I'm at the top end of my budget, but let's keep it going because these things are great. Right. So that's about all that I'm going to say about the local service ads platform. Keep pushing into it in the month of November and December as we're heading into December. Okay. Next item, Google business profiles. These are, they've gone back and forth over the years, what they call these things, GMB, Google My Business, Google Business Platform, Google Business Profile is the latest thing that they've been calling these things, right? And we all know this is Google Maps. Well, here's what's going on in our industry is that suspensions are way up. Guess why? Because AI is here. AI is going through and filtering out any spam. Okay. So anything with keyword stuffed names, fake addresses, category mismatches, we want to make sure that if you don't have the right setup, right, with your Google business profile, look at that. Okay. And make sure that you're up to date with current standards. Make sure that you don't have a fake address, that you didn't stuff the name of the company. Let's say that I'm Acme Roofing and let's say that I'm in College Station, Texas, right? That's where I'm sitting at. You don't want it to say Acme Roofing, College Station, Texas, right? Or Acme Roofing Company, College Station, Texas, in the actual name. If that's the name of the business and you can prove that's the name of the business with a DBA, right? Or your LLC paperwork or something like that, then by all means, go ahead and put that in there, but don't just stuff keywords in there. Okay. So just be real careful about that. Now, what happens if you do get suspended? Well, reinstatement's going to require utility bills, business licenses, branded signage. This has been going on for years and years and years, so it should not be anything new for you. We have had to help clients with all of this stuff as well as help them get a video made, right? They've got to do a video walkthrough. I believe it's like in 3 minutes. You've got to show signage in front of the office. You've got to show the front of the office building. You got to show possibly a signage. Well, no, you definitely have to show signage, but possibly a branded truck sitting right in front of the building. You have to show that you have physical access to the building. You have to walk into the building and show it's an actual office space. Okay. So there's a lot of things that go into this verification process. Just know if you do get suspended, you're going to have to go through the verification process again. Okay. All right, that's all I'm going to say about Google Business Profiles. Just these are still gold, right? In the 3-pack. Just know that where you rank in Google Business Profile is very proximity based. Okay. And what we do is we're basically 6.5 miles out from the center of where your office is. Okay. And really it's a 13 by 13 grid is how we measure, and try to get into the top 3 for each of those. Okay. So just know that the closer that your office is to the searcher, the better. Okay. All right. Let's talk some AI. I read something this morning basically said that only 30% of contractors are using AI in your marketing. That's ludicrous to me. Okay. AI is out here. It is available for a lot of people. It's free. Or it's very cheap. Okay. So like $20 a month gets you a pro or a plus, I think is what it's called, ChatGPT plus. You can get Gemini Pro for $20 a month. Again, there's just all of these different, AI tools that you can use in order to use in your marketing. So please take advantage of those. If you can, if you're doing it yourself or your team is doing it, make sure that they have the tools in hand in order to do their job. Okay. And when I say using it, use it to really identify your ideal, customer. Okay. Your ICP, your ideal customer profile. Have it create copy for you, for your landing pages. Okay. Have it, help you with blogs and social posts and so forth. Content is king when it comes to Google, all right, specifically, and even more so when it comes to ChatGPT on ranking, okay, with ChatGPT. So just keep that in mind. And, also know something else that I read, right? Companies that are using AI, right, in their marketing report a 29.5% increase in their lead conversions. This was a source here was the CI Web Group on that one. And I found that very, very interesting because if you think about it, AI is going to help us write better. Okay. It's going to help us do the things that I just talked about, right? But more importantly, it's going to be clearer on your unique selling points, I think. At least I feel that when I have AI write and help me write landing pages that are actually talking to the pain points of my customers, it just works a lot better. Right. And I think that's where that increase in lead conversions come from, because when people come to your website, when they come to a web page, when they come to a landing page, okay, and you're talking to their problems and how you can help solve those problems, it'll increase those conversions. Okay. And I like the Story Brand, guide framework, which was developed by a guy named, Donald Miller. If you ever listened to this podcast ever, you've probably heard me talk about it. Story Brand is just this framework that positions you, instead of your company being the hero of the story, right? The visitors coming to your website, your customers are really the heroes, and you're kind of like this guide that's going to help them fix their problems. Okay. So anyways, just something to consider there. The Story Brand framework, you can use that and that'll absolutely increase your conversions on the websites. Okay. Other things, by the way, that we have for our customers, for our clients, are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, ChatGPT powered bots, right? That handle those inbound leads, frequently asked questions, all sorts of things, right? So those bots are super, super important to have in place, when you and your staff are not there, to answer any questions or convert somebody into an appointment, let's say. Okay. And they're even great when you are there in the office, right? And you see the conversation coming through and you're like, oh, that's cool. The bot's handling this. Oh, they just qualified that homeowner. Oh, hey, they have them as an appointment for tomorrow at 9 a.m. Perfect. All I have to do is show up. So those types of things are things that are going to set you apart if you implement those into your business. Which brings me to the next talking point here, right? Speed to lead, right? If you have listened to me at all, followed me at all, you know, I always talk about speed to lead. All right. Those that take this to heart are going to win. All right. And I'm going to say that again. The people that are doing this, that are fast at getting back to the leads that are coming into their world, the people that are picking up the phones, the people that are setting the appointment. Okay, the roofing companies that are doing all this stuff are winning. All right, so Job Nimbus came out with a study. They said, and I'm quoting this, the average contractor response time, 47 hours. That's incredible. That's absolutely horrendously incredibly horrendous, right? I've been in sales for a really, really long time. I've owned my own business for a really, really long time. When I say really long time, I'm talking 20 plus years. Okay. When a lead comes into our sales funnel, the very first priority is to get back with that person. In fact, okay, another source that I read this morning, Podium, right, which is one of these SaaS platforms, okay, Podium said responding within 5 minutes doubles your close rates in home services, okay? So what I mean by that is that if you have these chatbots that are following up, okay, that are qualifying that lead, that are setting the appointment right then and there with that person, that's going to double your sales rates. If you want to do that yourself, you don't trust AI to do it, that's fine. But you have to make it a priority. It has to be a discipline. You can't get back to them after 30 minutes even. Because guess what? Those people are long gone. Those homeowners are literally going down the line with one roofing company after another roofing company until someone answers. Okay. Which brings me to my next stat. Okay. Something that else I read. Angie, we all know Angie, right? They said first responder usually wins the job, especially for emergency services. Well, guess what? We're in emergency services, right? If someone's roof is leaking, they call, they're going to keep calling down the line until they get to somebody who either picks up the phone and sets the appointment and solves their problem, or they're just going to keep going down the line, right? You can't imagine. All right. My company calls roofing companies all the time. I would say probably 80%, and I'm just pulling that stat out of the air. Okay. I would say, but at least 80% of the phone calls go directly to voicemail, right? Or it goes to a message that says the voicemail is full. And that's the worst one of all. Okay. Because the roofing company is not picking up and the voicemail is full. So you have zero ways of getting back with this person that just called you. And it ruins your reputation, honestly, which is the base pillar of the 4R roofing marketing system is reputation. Okay. And without a solid reputation, nothing else works. So if you ruin your reputation by not even picking up the phone and the voicemails box is full, right? That just hurts your chance to be even able to get that lead again. They don't trust you. They don't trust that they're going to call you and you're going to pick up the phone. And if they even if they did go with you, right? Who's to say that you're actually going to pick up the phone when they need you to come out and inspect their roof again, right? Or there's a warranty issue, right? So make sure your reputation is intact, and that just starts with a very simple thing of picking up the phone. All right. That brings us to our next talking point here, right? Multi-channel marketing is the new standard. For me, I've been preaching this for the past 10 years on here on the podcast and everywhere. Multi-channel just means that your marketing budget is being split up in between multiple channels. Okay. So for instance, even inside of Google, there are multiple channels, right? You actually have 4 different spots to advertise in. The first spot is local service ads, right? You just heard me preach about that. Second spot is pay-per-click ads. We all know this. We all hate them. We love, hate, relationship, whatever, okay, with that, but they still work if done right. You've got Google Business Profile, Google Maps, the 3-pack, okay? And then last is what Google was really built on, and that's organic, okay? And that's what most people trust, almost trust that more than any other channel there within Google. But that's 4 channels within one platform. Okay. But other things to consider are Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, right? Whatever you want to call it, whatever they want to call it. LinkedIn. Don't ignore LinkedIn. And then Google Business Profile itself has a way to post on it as well. Okay. There's all sorts of ways to get leads in. All right. So multi-channel is the new standard nowadays in the roofing industry. And we want to make sure that I equate it to fishing. All right. I have a friend that I talk with all the time, another agency owner. We talk about these things all the time. Okay. Well, it's like adding another pole when you're going fishing. Okay. Would you rather fish with one pole or 10? Me, I'd rather fish with 10. It gives me 10 times more chances to get fish in. Well, it's the same thing with leads. And that's what this whole multi-channel strategy is. Okay. So according to Bright Local, all right, that company that I talked about before, 87% of homeowners start with Google, but often validate via social media. Now, if you look at my 4R marketing system, the base pillar reputation, social media is there and not in reach. Okay. Which is the second pillar. Okay. And reach is just getting in front of more people today than knew about you yesterday. It's what most people think of in marketing. Okay. But according to Bright Local, I mean, and this holds very, very true in the roofing industry, is that most homeowners, almost all homeowners, will start on Google or now ChatGPT. Okay. But they're going to validate you whether you're a real company on social media. Okay. What we like to do is we like to leverage social media for Google, okay, to help us get a leg up on sending social signals to Google, which it highly relies on, okay, that you are the authority in the area about a specific topic. So let's say metal roofs, right? We're going to write about metal roofing and metal roofing contractor and metal roofing company and all the different things about metal roofs, okay, to make you the expert in that area, in your area on metal roofs. But then we spread it out via social media. Okay. Now here's where the reputation piece comes in is that when people go to your social media accounts, they want to know, one, can you do the job? And you do that by illustrating your photos, right? Your job site photos. You illustrate that by promoting content that's being written on your website. You do that through videos, right? Demonstrating your expertise, right? You do that through other people, what they say about you. Okay. And just simply taking a screenshot of reviews and adding that as a social post is one of the easiest things that you can do on social media. Anyways, my point is that, when we first started this whole journey of working with roofers, and really kicked it up a notch about 4 years ago, we went through and analyzed literally went through 1,000, in the first year, 1,000 different roofing company marketing strategies. And the one thing that I noticed when I did that is that probably 80%, and I should have been making note of it, right? Probably 80% of roofers in America don't post to their social media at all or haven't in years. So one of the easiest things that you could do is just simply take that $1,000 machine sitting in your pocket, your iPhone, your Android, whatever it is, take it out, take picture, connect to Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn, whatever, and upload that job site photo and tell a little story about what just happened. It'll take you 10 minutes, okay, after every single job. It does not take long to do that, all right? So do that, and that helps your reputation when the homeowners go to research you, okay? All right, that's about it that I wanted to talk about today. This marketing is an ever-living thing. It is constantly changing. Google changes, way back in the day, it used to change like 600 times a year. I think that is upwards of 100,000 times a year at this point because of AI. It is an ever moving target. So that's why I do these, is to keep y'all in the know on what's going on in our industry and with marketing. Okay. All right. So that's going to do it for another episode of Roofer Growth Hacks. I hope you enjoyed this episode and that you connect with me online. I hope that you go to our website at roofermarketingheroes.com. We just changed our name from roofingsites.com to roofermarketingheroes.com to be more in line with our parent company brand, which is Marketing Heroes. So roofermarketingheroes.com. All right. While we're talking about that, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, which is roofermarketingheroes.com. Since 2018, we have been helping roofers double their sales by getting their marketing right using the 4R roofing marketing system. If you're a roofing company owner wanting to grow your business, be sure to go to Roofer Marketing Secrets. That is not it at all. Be sure to go to roofermarketingheroes.com and sign up for a roofing marketing strategy with one of our experts. Also, a couple of years ago, I published my book, The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers. If you're a roofing company owner and you don't have this book in your hands, I'll send you a free digital copy. Just go to go.roofingsites.com. Yes, I know I haven't changed that one yet. Go.roofingsites.com, and I'll send you a free copy of my book. Well, roofers, join me next time when we will connect with another great roofing entrepreneur and learn how they hack their growth. Until then, I'm Chris Hunter. Thanks and gig 'em.